SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
At Community Bank, we're more than a place to manage your money. We're your neighbors and trusted financial advisors. For decades, we've helped families, small businesses, and individuals achieve their dreams. We're dedicated to your success every step of the way. Community Bank, member FDIC.
Pike County, here comes your morning show. Dave in the morning on 93.5 FM, SuperTalk Mississippi.
So now, understand, you're not going to dictate to me what I do and what I don't do, but I'm still the mayor, Mr. Brown.
None of this meeting is recorded. None by any parties. Correct?
No, sir, mine is recorded. I'm being accused.
Any conversation.
Said I want to make it on record. I want the allegations in writing, or the accused, or on recording of this harassment.
And now, here's your host, Dave Hughes.
Good morning on a Tuesday. How you doing? How warm are you? Probably a better greeting. Don't just walk up and go, how's it going? How you doing? How are things? No, you say, how warm are you? Hey, don't laugh. It's been that kind of weekend, but we're kind of done with the cold weather after this little blip. And we will certainly take that. We have in the forecast, if you look at it, it's 39 right now, by the way, with a wind chill of 33. High today, though, of 61. High tomorrow, 73. High on Thursday, 76. Friday, 73. Saturday, 77. Sunday, 78. This is it. It'll be coolish tonight, but about 10 degrees warmer for a low temperature. And then after that, tomorrow night, the low 61. So, yeah, we're good. No frozen precipitation or anything like. I have buddies. I have friends that live up in the Northeast. Got a couple that live in New York. Got a couple that live in the northern part of North Carolina, right up against the state line there. They have gotten slammed with this blizzard, which I don't know if you saw that storm system. The central pressure on that storm system would qualify it as a Category 2 hurricane. They've had wind gusts of over 80 miles an hour. I saw one place had a wind gust recorded right near 100 miles per hour. And it's snowing just hand over fist. So they have their work cut out for them, and they're hoping for some warm weather so that the car will melt. That's where they're at right now. We have a problem, but it's not related to that type of winter weather, that part of winter weather, I guess you'd say. We've been talking for a while about how you don't need to set anything on fire. Nothing. I don't care how careful you are, how often you've done it, and it's been just fine. I've got my garden hose. It'll be okay. We're burning in a barrel. None of that matters right now. As I have said, we've had people in here before, many, many times, that have talked about this. One ember, you know those little Bernie things, as you might call them, that come up from the fire and just kind of swirl around up in the air and look pretty. Yeah, those can travel about a mile down the road, land in somebody's yard, and burn their house down. This isn't a hypothetical. It's happened quite a few times. It doesn't matter how careful you are. It doesn't matter what your intentions are. You have nothing that has to be burned right now, because the cost of it is your house or someone else's, and possibly someone's life. So just leave it alone. We've got the fires. Well, we're kind of surrounded by wildfires right now. The biggest one, of course, down in Louisiana, right on the North Shore, just to the north of Mandeville, Covington, and that area. Enormous, several thousand acres burning. They had to shut I-12 down, just close the interstate completely on Saturday, I believe it was, or Sunday. Might have been Sunday. Because the fire was right up against the road. You couldn't see anything because of the smoke. They had to shut it down. Got an interesting thing, and we're back today, by the way, from the National Weather Service. The significant fire danger conditions map. They have so many maps. This one got the usual colors, the colorations that we're used to seeing for thunderstorm activity and tornado warnings and things like that. The northern, I'd say, 5th, 6th of the state is in yellow. That's a limited level. The majority of the state, the middle band, really from, you start at Clarksdale and draw a line over to the east. From there all the way down to about McGee, just north of Brookhaven, is orange. That's a level 2 fire danger. And then you start with that line at McGee and come south. Start roughly around Port Gibson over on the river and draw a line straight across through McGee. Everything from there to the south is in red. That's a level 3. That's described as wildfires will spread rapidly, and open burning should not be attempted. For comparison's sake, that warning line for level 2, the middle part of the state, open burning is discouraged. Up in the north part of the state for level 1, extra caution advised with open burning. Here, don't do it. Open burning should not be attempted. Don't even try, is what the National Weather Service is saying. And I think that's good news. Now, you may be asking, what has brought this about? You may not realize that there are several things that factor into it. Haven't had a ton of rain lately. That's one of the big ones. But the other one is the dew point. Now, the dew point is a measure of how much moisture is in the air. We normally are in the low 70s for the dew point, especially during summer. A lot of times dew point will be, in the 50s during the winter, maybe even the upper 40s. It's a measure of how much moisture is in the air. Do you know what the dew point is right now in Pike County? 11. 11. Down to our south, down around Hammond, it's 13. It gets better the closer to the coast you get, obviously. But our dew point of 11 means there's no moisture in the air, which is drying things out even more than they would normally be dried out due to a lack of rain. We are right now living in a giant tinderbox. And again, how do you like your house insurance premiums? They okay? Too high? I get it. I think we all feel the same way. Would you like them to double? By all means, burn that limb pile. the neighbors might start talking about you. If you don't burn those leaves. No. There, and I'm sorry, I still see people doing this. That's why you and I are talking about it. We have had multiple brush fires. Had Pike County. I had that one down to our south along the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain. Over to the east around Hattiesburg, just north of Hattiesburg. In between the two, north of Columbia. We have had our share of wildfires. And our fire people, our fire personnel, are exhausted. Because I'm sorry, you've got to remember, a lot of these areas, the first responders in those areas are volunteer firemen. Focus on the word volunteer. They're not getting paid for this. You want them to skip work and not be able to pay their bills because you just couldn't avoid burning your leaf pile. If that is your approach, if that's your mindset, well, it'll be okay. I'm just going to burn this one little leaf pile. And if it does catch on fire, those firemen will come out here and take care of it. It's no problem. If that's the kind of thing you are more likely someone you know would think and would operate under attitude-wise, well, not only are they stupid, they're also jerks. I will accept no questions, for I have no answers, but I do know that. As I put when I shared one of the posts from Pike County Civil Defense on the Facebook page the other day, leave thy Bix unflicked. Just don't mess with it. Be careful of how you dispose of cigarettes. Don't let your toe chains drag behind your vehicle going down the road because they throw up sparks. Guess what sparks start? Exactly. Be mindful of this. In a few days, it'll be muggy and we'll be complaining about that, but at least it won't affect our house insurance premiums. We continue on this Tuesday morning right after this on SuperTalk Mississippi, Pike County 93.5. Keep it here, my friend.
Every now and then, we remind all of you loving, awesome, hardworking husbands that you have a premium it's time to renew. No, it's not life insurance, car insurance, or health insurance. It's way more important than those. I'm Kristen. Gentlemen, it's time to renew those long-term wife insurance policies. When you surprise her with a gift from Selmans, you remind her that no matter what lies ahead, you and she will get through it together. Your gift tells her this long-term wife insurance policy is for life. Renew your long-term wife insurance policy right here at Selmans. We're in it for the long term with you.
Don't escape in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. Super Talk 93.5 is always the place to be. Want to get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all around, it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crave. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Weekday mornings at 6 after 9 on 93.5 FM, or you can catch up anytime by going to
SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave in the morning at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. Catch up and catch on.
That's great, it starts with an earthquake, birds and snakes, an airplane, and Lenny Bruce is not afraid. I have a hurricane, listen to yourself, churn world serves its own needs, dummy serve your own needs, feed it up and not speak, grunt, no strength, the ladder starts to clatter with fear, fight down, height, wire in a fire, represented 7 games in a government for hire in a combat site, left and west are coming in a hurry with the furies beating down your neck.
Welcome back. Super Talk, Mississippi, Pike County. Tuesday morning, the 24th of February. Which means we have a meeting of the City of Macomb City Board of Mayor and Selectmen tonight, 5:30, second floor of City Hall. If you've had too much excitement in your life lately, I encourage you to go attend the meeting. That way you can probably catch a decent nap at some point. You'll be awakened by the raised voices and the haughty air of superiority, but aside from that, might be beneficial. Got the agenda in front of me. Consent docket, the usual. Approving the minutes from a couple of meetings. December 23rd, yes, here on February 24th, we're finally getting around to approving the minutes of December 23rd's meeting, 2 days before Christmas. I guess we've had enough time to correct any errors. Could you hear the air quotes? I actually did them here in the studio. And also the meeting on January 16th. You and I both know why it's taking 2 months to get to the minutes sometimes. You and I both know. Also, the claims docket. As usual, as is our practice in the city of Macomb, we're spending money like it's going out of style. $1.3 million, the claims docket. Specifically, $1,329,767.83. That covers the period from January 28th through February 10th. Usually it runs through the day before the meeting. And this one would have gone for the last 2 weeks, basically, because we've had a meeting this month already. This is the second meeting of the month here in February. The last meeting was on the 10th. Did we forget to do it? I don't know. Claims docket $1.3 million for 2 weeks. You average that over every 2 week period. Not saying they do. Sometimes it's higher. Sometimes it's lower. So it's probably a good ballpark to say that's decent, at least $1 million. But in this case, $1.3 million. If you averaged that for every 2 week period, you're spending over $2.5 million a month, which takes you up to about $30 million a year just on claims docket stuff. That's not the actual budgetary items. Oh, come on, I'm doing an agenda. You know I'm going to be a little ray of sunshine. Unless you're new here. If so, welcome to the show. Grab some snacks. Well, I hope you brought some snacks with you. We don't have any snacks to grab, but we got to work on that. Now, let's move on to the actual body of the agenda. Item number 2, request from Macomb Main Street Association, annual funding for operations, $65,000. And keep in mind, I gave you that total for the claims docket, $1.3 million. This kind of stuff is not included in the claims docket anyway, but it's definitely not included in that number, which only went through February the 10th, 2 weeks ago today. So these figures on the agenda are in addition to the claims docket. Item number 3, approving the proposals for residential solid waste collection service. As you know, we had the discussion in the work session, long and involved, as it usually is when people who don't understand something are discussing it. This is the RFP, request for proposals, opening it up for bids. Who wants to bid on picking up our garbage? That's what this is. And then we get the proposals in, and then we move forward from there. Been a lot of conversation around picking up the trash lately. As you know, City of Magnolia has decided to do their own. They're getting out of the paying someone else to do it area. That's what was said by the mayor. We'll see how that goes. Of course, they were very critical of it during the work session. But I would like to hear from the mayor himself on that. Number 4, approving a budget amendment for the Entergy Small Business Solutions proposal for the law enforcement complex. So the lights work. Seems pretty common sense, $8,000 the amount there. Authorizing travel for the Board of Mayor and Selectmen and Selectwomen to the Mississippi Water and Pollution Control Operators Association, March 4th and 5th, for basic water board management training. If you recall, this came up a few weeks ago, asking, Selectman McKenzie had asked if the people at City Hall had been trained on the water system that the city uses. In City Hall, the people going out and dealing with the meters themselves, had all the training. In true Macomb, Mississippi fashion, it was revealed that they had training, but they had only had the advanced training. They had not received the basic training yet. Think about that for just a second. It's like, let's say you're studying to get your driver's license, okay? You want to get in the car. You got to go see your friends. Got to go hang out. Got to go have a good time. Got to get you a job. Make a little extra money. Impress that girl. Teenage stuff. And your parents, being good parents, they have done all they can to teach you how to drive properly and safely, but they're being thorough, so they enroll you in a driver's ed. But unfortunately, they didn't read closely what they were signing you up for, and you show up for the first day, and they're not teaching you the basics of the road, the rules of the road, how to drive safely. Oh no, it's combat driving training that they signed you up for. You get there and day 1, they're teaching you how to do bootleg turns, how to drive backwards at up to 60 miles an hour. And then the thought is, well, that's good enough. We'll come back and teach you the actual basics, like, how to park later. Doesn't worry about that right now. We're not going to worry about that. That's literally what they did with the water system in the city of Macomb. The people that got trained got the advanced training, but it was admitted, well, we didn't get the basic training, so we need to go back and we need to get that. I would love, and as you know, I have no problem doing this because I do it on a regular basis. I would love to just chalk that up to malfeasance, bad attitude. No, I think this was just plain old stupid incompetence. I think this was lack of attention to detail to where we wound up in that situation. That's the rule in everything. You take the basic training and then you take the advanced training, not the other way around. Well, this is the basic water board management training. I'm going to be in Pearl, March 4th and 5th. Not entirely sure why the board has to go for training. I mean, unless you want the board members to start participating in and interfering with day-to-day operations, there's literally nothing they can do with that training. They're not working on the water system. If they got the training and they notice someone doing something wrong, well, we've been hearing that howling for years. Don't you dare say a word to them about it. You're interfering with day-to-day operations. You can't do that. So, what's the point? The people sitting around the board table, should they know? Probably. What are they going to do with that knowledge? How is it going to positively impact the people of Macomb, who have fire hydrants all over town with black plastic bags over them, marking the fact that they're broken and they will be of zero use in putting your house out if it catches on fire during this high fire danger time? There's over 40 of them in the city of Macomb. Good job again for City Administrator Bill, finally making some moves in the direction of getting that fixed. But they're still broken. We have all of why do we have so much trouble with the water system? I think a better way to ask that question is, why do Democratic administrations have so much trouble with the water system? Hello, Jackson, looking at you. We went through a period where there were people sitting around that table in Macomb on the second floor that really wanted Macomb to be more like Jackson. Well, that worked. Great job. So anyway, we're going to send the people that are prohibited and will get fussed at if they have anything to do with day-to-day operations to go get the basic water training that the actual employees doing the work didn't get, because that somehow is going to help something, I guess. See, here, let me explain my disdain for this. Is it helpful for the board to get trained in that? Yeah, definitely. But we are in a situation in the city of Macomb, especially with the water system, where you have to do the things that move the needle the most, that have the biggest impact. If you're stuck in a hole, if you have dug and dug and dug and you just got in a rhythm and weren't paying attention, and you look up and you realize you're 18 feet deep, you don't have a ladder, you don't have a grappling hook, your jetpack's in the shop, no idea how you're going to get out. Oh yeah, and water's starting to leak in. So the hole's filling up. What would be a better use of your time? Making sure your shovel is polished and looking sharp? Or very quickly scrabbling and digging out some handholds to get out of the mess that you got yourself into? We can worry about how our shovel looks later. We can worry about these extraneous details that ultimately are not going to move the needle, which is we're about to drown. Let's deal with the priority problems first. That's where my attitude about this comes from. On the face of it, as it is, no, I don't have a problem with the board getting trained in the basic water board management. But after sitting through years of them getting screamed at for don't you dare interfere with day-to-day operations, what's the point of this? What good is it going to do? How is it going to move the needle to make things better for the taxpayers of Macomb? That's my question. And if we don't have an answer to that, what is the point? Moving on, item number 6, the annual contribution to the Southwest Mississippi Boys and Girls Club, $25,000. Payment for the housing of prisoners for the month of November. Yes, it is February. November, the amount was $13,392. Number 8, invoice from Infomark, $91,000. Number 9, invoice from Delta Computer Systems, $143. 10, another invoice from Delta, $1,595. Number 11, another invoice. Guess who from? That's right, Delta Computer Systems, $661. Delta Computer Systems, apparently out of Chicago, Illinois. Keeping that money at home. Number 12, invoice from EMC Insurance, Kansas City, $165. Then we have several different, five different items to make payments on bonds. A couple of GO bonds, the Urban Renewal Bond, the Limited Obligation Bonds, So a little bit of everything, but those amounts, again, I'm giving you these amounts so that you can keep in mind, this is all in addition to that $1.3 million in the claims docket. These 5 bond payments, $377,600, $148,352, $326,571, $173,526, and $363,100. That's over $1 million, by the way. Well over $1 million. I mean, you just take 377, 326, and 363, and you're over $1 million right there. Then you add in the 148 and the 173 on top of that, you're close to $1.5 million. Added to the $1.3 million in the claims docket. Just pointing that out. Approving an invoice, item number 18, from Gulf States Engineering, $18,828. Invoice from Greenbrier, a lot of invoices, $99,000. Water Company of America, $9,887. RJ Construction from Laurel, $784,530. It's a shame we don't have any construction businesses in Pike County. That's okay. At least at least the citizens of Macomb's taxpayer dollars are staying in Mississippi on this one. RJ Construction from Laurel. This is the Locust Street intersection. To redo that, $784,000. You're going to have to dig down practically to bedrock and start over to get it 100% right anywhere on Locust Street. So price-wise, yeah, it's going to cost what it's going to cost. Once again, we're deep in the hole. We don't get to complain that the shovel polisher is charging too much. They're coming in to fix the problem. They're going to come in and dig the handholds for us so we can climb out of the hole. What would you be willing to pay? You know, to not drown. Or, to put it a little closer on the nose, what would you pay to not have to pay for another front end alignment every other day? Once you get that perspective, you look at it and go, you know, it's a pretty good price, actually. Some of those potholes on Locust along the line there, at various points, you can walk up to the edge, there's an echo, and you can see magma at the bottom. I mean, these things are deep. But at least we're doing something, finally. You don't get patted on the back and big bragging because you finally are dealing with part of something that's wrong, that's been wrong for the better part of a decade. You don't get an attaboy certificate for that. And let's not pretend that we should. Tonight, 5:30 on the second floor of City Hall in downtown Macomb. Bring your own snacks, unless you like gum out of the machine downstairs. No horse derbies are provided. We continue on this Tuesday morning after this. Don't move.
Every now and then, we remind all of you loving, awesome, hardworking husbands that you have a premium it's time to renew. No, it's not life insurance, car insurance, or health insurance. It's way more important than those. I'm Kristen. Gentlemen, it's time to renew those long-term wife insurance policies. When you surprise her with a gift from Settlements, you remind her that no matter what lies ahead, you and she will get through it together. Your gift tells her this long-term wife insurance policy is for life. Renew your long-term wife insurance policy right here at Settlements. We're in it for the long term with you.
Don't miss Dave in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, but just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crave. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave Hughes here. Remember, every weekday morning at 9:06, it's Dave in the Morning, where we solve the problems of the world, or at least complain about them really loudly and sarcastically. And if you miss out, you can catch up with the podcast version of Dave in the Morning at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Tired of being what you want me to be, feeling so faithless, lost under the surface. Don't know what you're expecting of me, put under the pressure of walking in your shoes. Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow. Every step that I take is another mistake to you. Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow. I've become so numb, I can't feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming this. All I want to do is be more.
Welcome back. Super Talk, Mississippi, Pike County, 93.5. Dave Hughes on a Tuesday morning. Well, I got to give props where they are due, and they are definitely due. If you recall, last Thursday, you and I were sitting here. We had a lovely North Pike Thursday, talked tennis. And then afterwards, we were talking about the shootings. And I said, look, the police have been doing a bang-up job in Macomb lately. Unfortunately, they have a lot to work with. They've got a lot to work on in terms of shootings and killings and things like that. I said, but just be, patient, have the right attitude. They're working on this. They're sending a lot of people to jail. And then Friday, the news breaks that they had caught the two who allegedly killed the 14-year-old in his own front yard. Pablo Allen Jr. and Jabori Washington. Their preliminary hearings, they've had their first appearance before a judge on Friday. Their preliminary hearings, 2 o'clock Thursday afternoon. This Thursday. Not dragging our feet here. Moving right along. Pike County Judge David Brewer. Bam, bam. Well done. Good job. Both of the defendants are minors, of course. Something that we've been dealing with for quite a while now. And I'm afraid we're going to continue dealing with it. Because we keep having this conversation, but we're going to have it again, especially in light of the fact that came out within a week. They had found the two that they say did it, and they're now going through the judicial process, and they're in jail. So everybody should be happy. Problem solved, right? That's what we hear. Continue. Lock them up. That's a low IQ response to this, because we are locking them up. Anything look better to you? We have to solve the problem. Perfect example. These two got thrown in jail last week, Thursday, Friday. Saturday, we had another shooting. But we're getting them off the streets. We're locking them up. They didn't do it. Doesn't matter. I want people to stop having bullet wounds. That should be the goal here. And while on the face of it, in a simpler situation, lock them up, that'll stop the crime, sounds like a brilliant thought. It's actually not, because we are locking them up. We are dealing with this law enforcement wise. Have you seen it get better? Now think before you start talking. Put some thought into it. Don't like, yeah, we got to lock all of them up. So we need to get into a Minority Report situation where we lock up people that look like they might be about to commit a crime down the road here. What's your thought? You catch them, you lock them up, 6 more come in, look just like them. Same gun in a lot of cases. And what have you solved? Nothing. I know that because people keep getting shot. This isn't even something to be debated. It's different people during the shooting. Yes. Has it cut down on the shootings? No. So that's not the solution to how do we make people stop shooting other people in Macomb, Mississippi. We have proof of that. And this is a great example of it. These two, they caught them. Put them in jail. Already had their preliminary hearing, their arraignment, I should say. Their preliminary hearings are set for a week later, day after tomorrow. We're moving bang, bang quick, and they're in jail until then. Pablo and Jabbery aren't going anywhere. Had them safely locked away. Somebody else got shot. Multiple times. We have to quit using the low IQ responses to try to deal with this and engage our brains. Because I'm sorry, if every dog you pet bites your hand, and every time one bites your hand, you take it and you rehome it. You put it somewhere else. Take it to the pound, the shelter, whatever. Get rid of it. Put this dog behind bars. It's a problem. And then when you get home, another dog comes wandering up in your yard as you're trying to get out of the car, and you go, oh, well, you look sweet. How about you? And it bites you on the hand. So you get back in the car, drive back over. Got to lock this one up too. That's the only way this is going to stop. You let me know when your hand has a chance to heal. It's going to be a minute. Because in a lot of situations, in a lot of these circumstances, we're kind of dealing with rabid wild animals. But they are directed. They are organized, shall we say. Until we deal with that, this is not going to change. Lock them up. Has that been working? Not in your pie in the sky, by and by, hopes and dreams mindset. Look at the facts over the last year. Look at the number of people who have been locked up. Has it stopped the shootings? Has it eased them up? No, I've been saying this. I'm going to continue to say this. The only way to make this stop is to make it where it is no longer good for business for the gangs to be here. They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to listen to law enforcement. They're not going to care if their buddy gets thrown in jail because he did what he was supposed to do. You know, the only thing they will care about is if their superiors in the gang say, nope, we got to get out of here. Not here. This is not good for us. Come on, let's go. Don't do that. Let's go. Time to move. It's the only way that works. It's the only way any of this works. Because again, you had two, threw them in jail. Less than 48 hours later, somebody else gets shot in the streets of Macomb. Now, is it all gang related? Of course not. But just locking up the people that pull the trigger is not leading to a decrease in shootings. It's not. That's provable by the numbers and the timelines. That is just a simple fact. And until we start dealing with the facts as they are, now I hear the response right now in my head. Well, so what you're saying, Dave, is we shouldn't arrest these people? Oh no, arrest them. Just quit treating it like the golden panacea that's going to cure all ills. It ain't fixing the problem. And the longer everybody uses that as their rallying cry, it's the only thing anybody can say. I saw it over the weekend. You don't lock these people up. We're doing that. Now what? Hasn't worked. What else you got? You got any other thoughts, or are you just going to keep repeating that like a bleeding sheep, desperate for somebody to acknowledge that you have an opinion? Because that's all that's happening here. We need to address the problem, not do feel-good nonsense that gives us a little bit of a ray of hope. No, we need actual change in the way everything is done, in the way everything is being done and has been done for quite a while. We have had a downhill slide, not just in Macomb, everywhere. I was mentioning my friends up in the Northeast earlier when we were talking about the blizzard. I got friends all over the place that I talk to on a regular basis. It's this way everywhere. It's not a here problem. It's everywhere. And until we change the way we deal with things and start focusing on the things that are going to actually move the needle. Now, I'm going to go ahead and warn you, some of the things that could be done that would make a difference and make this stop, it might inconvenience you. Because I've noticed a trend. Everybody wants everything possible to be done to make all the violence stop, as long as you don't interfere with what I'm doing, because, I'm very important and I got things to go do, and I want to go to the washateria. I started to say to go to the theater, but we don't have a theater and haven't for how many decades now? So you just go to the washateria and watch your underwear spin. You got to have something to do, right? It's part of the problem, by the way, but anything that would move the needle on this and actually stop it, not going to be done by law enforcement. They do not have the authority to put things in place to stop it. You don't want law enforcement to have the authority. I want you to imagine if law enforcement was able to look up and say, you know what, I've had enough of this. We're going into full lockdown, full to shut it all down. Nobody's allowed to go anywhere without proper authorization. Let's do that for a few weeks. And then we'll get all these people, round them up. That'll allow us to get in there, break up some of these organizations, and move on. You don't want them to have that power, but you don't want anybody to do that. You want to live in a perfect, magical, happy land with sugar plum fairies and gumdrops and ice cream cones and everything going great for you exactly the way you want it. No, it's not how this gets fixed. This gets fixed by everyone being impacted. And until somebody has the stomach for taking the heat when they tell grandma she's going to have to skip bingo night this week, it's not going to change. And before you say, well, that's horrible, David, I cannot believe you would come out with such a ridiculous suggestion. Well, have fun dodging the bullets. And I'm sorry, some of the people saying that are the same people that locked themselves in their house 6 years ago and wouldn't even pull the curtains back to look out in mortal fear. That was for a germ. This is for flying lead.
If you cry out for more, if you reached out for me, I would run to the storm just to keep you here with me. I have gone beyond my
That's a good point for Bobby. You arrest everybody, where are you going to put them? The citizens of Pike County rose up in righteous anger when it was suggested that we get a tax hike so we could build a bigger, newer jail to hold them all. Can't do that. Like I said, you want everything on a silver platter. Life doesn't work that way, and it never has. So what discomfort, what inconvenience are you willing to suffer to make this stop? If the answer is none, well, you don't want it to stop. You just want to gripe. Have fun. There's a bunch of people that are no longer listening, though, so by all means, keep going. Final break. We'll close it down next.
Every now and then, we remind all of you loving, awesome, hardworking husbands that you have a premium it's time to renew. No, it's not life insurance, car insurance, or health insurance. It's way more important than those. I'm Kristen. Gentlemen, it's time to renew those long-term wife insurance policies. When you surprise her with a gift from Selmans, you remind her that no matter what lies ahead, you and she will get through it together. Your gift tells her this long-term wife insurance policy is for life. Renew your long-term wife insurance policy right here at Selmans. We're in it for the long term with you.
Don't miss Dave in the morning, even when you miss it the first time. You can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have a break. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page.
Important business. Holy cow. Moe's. Well done, sir.
Closing time.
Yesterday was apparently Moses' 46th wedding anniversary. Good job.
Closing time.
And it is a job.
Turn all of the lights on.
Anyone who has had a successsul relationship, it's easy, it's hard. That's the way it works, right? But usually it's fun if you get the right one. So congratulations to you. But Mose said, sent in a message, said you need a deterrent. Public executions and death penalty cases. Yeah. Why not? Oh, does that make you uncomfortable? Imagine how it makes the other people thinking about breaking the law feel. So I'm not going to say it's a bad suggestion. What I would say is that's not going to work in a system where from the time you get a death penalty conviction until the sentence is carried out, average is about 35 years. For most people, what's going to happen in 35 years? That's not even tomorrow's problem. Dave, you're suggesting horrible things. Yes, to stop horrible things from being done. Is it a good idea? I don't know. Let's at least have the conversation instead of running around screaming, look up, like we know what we're talking about. Have a wonderful day. We'll do this again tomorrow morning at 9:06, my friend. I'll see you then.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.